Hi there everybody, my name is Ali and today we are doing Relevant from TryHackMe. This was a Linux machine which is containing some rabbit holes. First of all, we will see some credentials in the SMB share. So we will use smbexec or PSEXEC or WMIExec to try to get onto the box, but we will fail to do so. Then I will use Xfreerdp to try to getting in using graphical user interface, but again failed at one as well. Then finally I will do a full port scan and we will see another web server running on high port, and there I will have access to SMB share which I have write permissions to. So I will upload aspx payload to SMB share and execute it from the web server to get onto the box. And then in the initial privilege escalation we have Seimpersonate privilege enabled, but this system was running Microsoft Windows Server 2016, so juicy potato will not work onto this one. So we will see another exploit called PrintSpoofer and get root access. So that being said, let's jump in. I already have started my machine and my IP address is 10.10.26.209. So I will start off with the nmap scan, nmap-a for aggressive scan, -v for verbosity, and then the IP address of the target, which is 10.10.26.209. This can take some time to run, so I already have ran it. Let's see the results. Looking at the results, we are having a lot of ports open, starting from port 80, which is web server port. The service running is HTTP and the version is Microsoft IIS HTTPD 10.0. Now normally whenever IIS version 10.0 runs, I always say that it is Windows 10 or Microsoft Server 2016. So we will see that what sort of operating system it is running. Then the supported methods are options, trace, get, head and post. Nothing is interesting right here. Then the server header is Microsoft IIS 10.0. So it looks like that the default server or default website is running onto this server, but we will have a look on the browser in 1 minute. Then we are having port 135, which is MSRPC, nothing interesting. And then I am having some SMB ports 139 and 445, and in SMB port we are having our operating system, which is Microsoft Windows Server 2016 standard evaluation. So it looks like that Microsoft Windows Server 2016 is running. And then finally I am having port 3389, which is remote desktop. We can use Xfreerdp, but we need some sort of credentials to access this port. So right now my main attack vectors will be again 139 and port 445 and web server, which is port 80. So let's move on to port 80 and let's see what is running there. So I will type in the IP address here 10.10.26.209 and let's see what it says. And right away IIS Windows Server is running and this is the default website, so nothing interesting would be here. But let's see the page source by pressing Ctrl U onto the keyboard, and nothing is interesting right here as well. So that's fine. What we can do more is whenever I don't see anything interesting onto the web server, I always go for directory brute forcing. So let's move on to directory brute forcing. There are two tools which I like to use. One of them is gobuster and the second one is FFUF. So let's start off with the gobuster. So I will do gobuster dir for directory brute forcing mode. The URL will be http .10.10.26.209, and then I will specify the word list, and the word list which I will use is user share word list and gobuster directory list 2.3 medium.txt. So this one, and then I will go for extensions. Now I know Windows IIS 10.0 is running, so for extensions I will go for, let's say, ASP and aspx. So if I hit enter, now the problem which I face normally with gobuster is that it is quite slow. So right now you can see it is doing almost 30 requests per second. We can also specify the threads as well, so -t parameter and like 50 threads or 80 threads. But I have another amazing tool which is called FFUF. You can download it from GitHub and that is some fast as well. So if I press Ctrl C right here, let's see how to use FFUF as well. So both of the syntaxes are same for gobuster and FFUF as well. So I will do FFUF -u for URL, then the HTTP 10.10.26.209. But the one thing which makes FFUF more amazing than gobuster is that it allows us to do brute forcing anywhere in the URL. So we need to specify a keyword called fuzz in capital case. So I will do FUZZ right here, and this tells that FFUF will do our directory brute force right here. So if we are having some sort of domain names and we need to do like virtual host directory brute forcing, or we need to find out some subdomains, so what we can do is we can just simply add fuzz right before the IP address and it will do subdomains directory brute forcing. So in this case, FFUF is much more powerful than gobuster. So I will specify the word list, and the word list I will use the same one, user share word list and directory list 2.3 in gobuster directory. So this one, and the extensions will be again ASP and aspx. And now it is much more faster for me rather than gobuster. So now it is doing almost 150 to 100 requests. So let's keep it running in the background. Let's see if it sees something or not, and let's move on to other ports because I found out that SMB ports are also running. So first of all, what I will do is I will start off with the SMB map. So I will do SMB map -h for host and the IP address of the target, and let's see whether we are having any shares or not. And it gives me authentication error. So one more thing which I can do, because I think so by default it does anonymous login, so it will specify username as anonymous and the password as anonymous as well. So what I will do is I will specify any random user, let's say test123. so let's see if it gives me anything, and now it looks like that it does work. And I am having 4 shares, and the one which is interesting is this one, because NT4 WRKSV, and we are having read permissions as well and write permissions as well. Now whenever I see write permissions on like any share, the first thing which I like to do is I always copy this share from here. I go to the web browser because port 80 is running a web browser, and then I will paste in that share because I'm having write access, so might be possible that I can upload any file and try to access it from here. So let's see if it gives me anything interesting right here or not. So if I hit enter, and that's strange that it didn't give me any sort of error message. If I view the page source is empty. I am having a blank page as well. So something strange is going on right here, which I will see in a moment. So let's come back here and let's see what is in this one. So from SMB map, what we can do is we can specify -R for recurse, and I will say that I want to see this share recursively, so it will show me all of the files. And I'm having only one file which is called passwords.txt, so I can download this file from here as well and see what is in the password.txt, but I will use another tool called smbclient because it makes it much easier. So I will do smbclient -l 4// to list the shares and 10.10.26.209. This is the same thing, it will list out the shares, but the problem with smbclient is that it does not tell us that whether we are having read or write access or not. So that's fine. I know that NT4 WRKSV is having read and write. So now what I will do is I will simply remove -l from here, 2// from here, and at the end I will type in the share name, which is NT4 WRKSV, and what it will do is it will try to log me in. So if I hit enter now, I am logged into the share. Now I have write access as well. So the first thing which I will do is, but before doing that stuff, let's see what is in the passwords.txt file. So I will do get passwords.txt, and that file has been downloaded. Let's exit out from here, do ls, and I'm having passwords.txt. Let's see what is in this password.txt file. So I'm having two some sort of passwords, I think so, and they are encrypted. So it says user passwords and they are encoded, and from the encoded version there are 2 equal sign at the very end of the first hash. So it means that it is base 64 because base 64 is always having 2 equal signs at the end. So what we can do now, right, is that we can go to Google and we can just search for like base 64 online decoder. We can paste these hashes and we can see what is the actual content, but I will use a command line tool which is base 64 and it is much faster as well. So what I will do is I will copy this hash from here, I will echo this out, and I will pass it to a command line tool called base64, and I will say that I want to decode this hash. So I will do -d for decode, hit enter, and it will decode whatever we supply to this one. So this hash is now decoded, and we can see that I am having a username here, and it looks like that the password for Bob user is this one. Let's do the same thing with the other hash as well. So I will remove the previous hash, paste the new hash, hit enter, and I am having one more user which is having a very strange and strong password. So let's copy both of these into my note first of all. Okay, so now whenever I am having username and password, I told you in my Nmap scan that port 3389 is open. So what we can do is we need some credentials to access this 3389 port. So we can use Xfreerdp because I have some credentials. So let's use Xfreerdp and try to get into a graphical user interface. So I will do Xfreerdp -h for help to how to use this one. And it says in the examples that we need to specify /u for username, /p for password, and then the IP address with /v. So I will use these three parameters. So I will do xfree rdp, then /u, and my user was Bob. This was the first user. The password for this Bob user is this one. Now it is containing some special characters, so I will add it in single quotations just because I don't get any sort of error messages, and then the IP address of the target by /v, and let's see what is the IP address, 10.10.26.209. So hit enter and let's see what it says. It is asking me for the certificate, and we are having the our host name as well, which is relevant. So I think so it might work. So yes, and I am having the error at the very end, which is some sort of connection failed to, I think so I cannot access this one, but that's fine. Let's do the same thing with other user which we found, which was Bill. So I will do Bill right here, remove the password, let's copy this one, paste, and hit enter. And again I am having some sort of error message, so I think so I cannot use Xfreerdp right now or any other tool like remote desktop because it is not working. So that's fine, let's move on to other things. So what else we can use is PSEXEC. So what PSEXEC does is it will see whether there are any shares, and I noticed that there are 4 shares: admin dollar, IPC dollar, and NT4 something strange. So what it will do is it will try to figure out that whether there is any share writable, and if any share is writable it will upload a malicious exe file and try to execute it and give us a shell. So let's try to, first of all we need to install impacket. Normally Kali Linux comes pre-installed, but if you are not having impacket installed, so what you can do is simply do apt install, and you can simply do python 3-impacket. So this will install impacket, and it is containing all of the things, but right now I already have installed impacket. If you are not having installed, it will start the installation process. So then what you need to do is you need to simply type in impacket, and after impacket you need to press tab key 2 times. So I will press tab 2 times, and now you can see I am having a lot of scripts right here. So these all are the scripts which are very important in like Active Directory as well and other penetration tests. But the one which I am interested in is this one, which is impacket PSEXEC, or the same thing is the impacket smbexec, and there is another one which is I think so wmi-exec. This one, all of them does the same thing. So let's use PSEXEC in this case. So I will do PSEXEC, and let's see how to use this one. So -h for help, and in the help menu let's see what we need to do. So it says you need to specify domain, then username, password, and then the @sign, and then the target name or address. So right now I'm not having a domain, so let's see if username and doing the password does work or not. So I'll do like Bob, then a colon. Let's copy the password for Bob user. Again, I will use single quotations because it is containing some special characters, and then the @ and then I will do 10.10.26.209. So hit enter and let's see whether this will work. It looked like that it is working, and yes, so it is requesting shares, and then it will see that whether any share is writable. It found one. It uploaded a malicious file, but in the end again it says error opening svc manager, so that's fine. Let's see whether I'm having access with the other user, which was Bill, and let's see what was the password for this one. So hit enter and it will do the same thing with this user as well. So and I think so I have done something wrong. No, everything is fine. Let's see. And doesn't look like that this is also working because it says authenticated as guest and aborting. So right now what I will do is I will move on because these credentials are not being worked anywhere. I have tried PSEXEC, I have tried graphical user interface. So if you are doing any sort of certification exam like OSCP or any other certification exam, and if you see such situation, I would highly recommend that you should move on. If you have tried some basic things, I would highly recommend that you should move on because that is a rabbit hole. So now I will move on, and now let's see where our FFUF is now. So I will see my FFUF output, and FFUF is again giving me nothing. It is gone quite too far. So I think so there is no other directory as well, so I should press Ctrl+C right here. And one thing which I strange noticed was that this nt4 wrk share. So now what I will do is I will try to create a file called, let's say, hello.txt, and let's echo out hello in this file. And if I get out hello, my hello is present there. So what I will do is I will again do smbclient 2// 10.10.26.209 and the share name nt4 wrk and I will upload this hello.txt file right into this share because I am having write permissions. And let's see whether I am having like execute access onto this one from web server or not. So I will do put hello.txt and it will successfully upload my hello.txt. If I do ls on this smb share, my hello.txt is present here. Let's come back and let's try to see whether I am having access to hello.txt, because sometimes if it in the share is not giving me anything, so might be possible that my text file might get executed. So if I hit enter, and my hello.txt is also not giving me anything, so it doesn't look like that I am having access to this share. So now I am stuck in a rabbit hole. I have nothing else to do, no directories, nothing on the web server, nothing in the smb share except that the passwords, and the passwords are also not giving me anything. So now I will move on to full port scan because might be possible that there might be some other port running and I am missing some enumeration. So that's why enumeration is very important. So for full port scan, there are a lot of problems. The main problem is that it will take a lot of time. So the basic full port scan for Nmap is nmap-p- and I will use -v for verbosity as well, and then the IP address which is 10.10.26.209. Now if I hit enter, it will take a lot of time, almost 1 hour or more than 1 hour depending upon your internet connectivity. So that's why I like to use a parameter called --minimum rate. So I will do --minimum rate and I will specify 10,000 packets per second. Now again there is a lot of problem because I'm specifying huge packet, so chances are that it will miss a lot of ports. But again, what I would recommend is that you should do this scan almost 2 to 3 times because might give you something interesting. So let's see what it gives in this case. So I'm having my default ports, but let's see if I find anything strange. and I do found one strange port which is 49,667. Let's see if it gives me any other thing or not. So while this scan is running, I want to show you another tool for full port scanning, and that is Masscan. Now Masscan always work for me and it is quite accurate as well, but again sometimes Masscan also give you false positives, or it might not find any open port, so you need to run all of this stuff more than 2 to 3 times. So if I do Masscan -p for port, and I will specify all ports, so 1 to 65,535, and I also like to scan in Masscan UDP ports as well. So for UDP ports you use capital U and then you specify a colon, and then you will specify how much ports you want, and I will scan all ports 65,535, and then I will specify the rate. So let's specify the rate of 1000 packets per second because Masscan is quite fast. So then the IP address of the web server, which is 10.10.26.209, and one more thing which we need to specify, Masscan is interface. So my interface for TryHackMe is tunnel 0, so I'll do tun0. So this is the whole command. Let's hit enter, and again Masscan will always not give you complete results. So running all of these full port scan, running 2 to 3 times, if you are going for any exam, I would highly recommend you that run almost more than 2 times if you are doing such sort of thing. So let's see my Nmap scan, and my Nmap scan has been finished, and I found one port which is this one. But let's see the output of Masscan as well. Now I already have ran the output of Masscan, and I ran Masscan 2 to 3 times, and now you can see right here I am having one port discovered by Masscan which was not discovered by Nmap. So it is 49,669, and Nmap discovered 49,667, and Masscan is still running. So let me show you the output of Masscan, because I ran Masscan when I was just testing almost more than 3 times or 2 times. Let's see the output of my Masscan. So if I come back to my notes, I have another scan, and right away you can see I have scanned this operating system more than 2 times, which is 3 times. So in the first time, what Masscan gave me was this one, which is 135.3389, 49,669, and 139. So it missed the web server port, which is 80. It also missed port 445. So that's why I would highly recommend you that run this again and again. Then on the second attempt, I got a lot of ports, and it looked to me that now I have successfully scanned all of the ports and now I should move on. But finally I tried the third time as well, and doing third time I again found one strange port which was 49,663, which was not detected before. So in this case I found 3 ports which were strange: 49,669, 49,667, and 49,669. So let's move on to our Nmap and let's see what is running there. So I will press Ctrl C and I will clear this one as well. So now I will do Nmap -A for aggressive scan, -V for verbosity, -P for 3 ports which I found strange. One of them was 49,669, the other one was 49,667, and the last one was 49,663. So let me confirm. Yes, and then I will specify the IP address 10.10.26.209, and let's hit enter, and let's see. Now again this will take some time. So I already have ran this scan as well, so let's see the results of this one. So now I scanned these all 3 ports and I got one more web server which was running, and most probably these 2 ports were MSRPC, which is Microsoft Windows Remote Procedure Call. Right now it is giving me filtered, but might be my internet connection too slow. So these are MSRPC. But right here the interesting one was this one, which is 49,663, and it is running HTTP, and I am having again the same web server which is Microsoft IIS HTTPD 10.0. So let's see what is running on this one. So I will remove everything from here and type in port 49,663, and again the same web server is running, Microsoft IIS, and it is the default page for this one, so nothing interesting would be here. But again I will try the same thing, and I will see that whether I'm having the share, because I always do this one because that is an easy win. So again I will type in that share name because I am having right access to the share, so might be possible that I might be able to access file. So I will do nt for wrksv and slash, hit enter, and again the same thing, I am having a blank page, so doesn't look interesting. Let's see, I uploaded a hello.txt file as well. Is it giving me something or not? And it does give me my output. So now I am confirmed that my hello.txt or whatever I upload to that smb share, it is being rendered onto my web browser and my output is shown onto my screen. So now the initial foothold becomes very easy. What I can do is, I know that it is Windows running, so I can get like ASP or aspx reverse shell from Google, upload it to the smb share, execute it from the web server, and I will try to get initial foothold. So let's go to Google and let's say like aspx reverse shell, because it is Windows. So let's click on this first one. And let's download this shell.aspx file from here. So I will copy the URL, come to my terminal, I will do wget, paste the URL, hit enter, and it will download that into my current working directory. Let's do ls and let's see what is in shell.aspx file. So, and it looks like that I downloaded it wrong, so let's close this one again. Let's come back to the browser, click on raw. I forgot to click on raw. Let's copy the URL now and it should work now. So I will remove my previous shell.aspx, wget, paste the URL, and now it does work. If I open that shell.aspx, okay, so now it is in the correct format. Now, so this is the reverse shell. So we need to change only two things. One of them is IP address and one of them is port. So IP address, again my local IP, which is given by TryHackMe, 1010, sorry, my IP is 10.17.41.9, and let's do port to 4444. So if you don't know what your IP is, just type in ifconfig onto your system and here your IP will be, which is tunnel 0. So now what I will do is, I will save this one and I will upload this shell to my share. So again I will use smbclient. So the same command, hit enter, log into smb share, and then I will do put shell.aspx. So it should definitely upload, and now what I will do is, I will exit out from here and I will start netcat listener. So netcat-nvlp on port 4444. I will come back to my browser, I will simply access this shell.aspx and hopefully my browser will run that file and I should get a reverse shell. So shell.aspx, hit enter, let's come back, and I got a shell after some time. So now I have successfully gained initial foothold. Let's see, who am I? Okay, so it looks like that this is some sort of a service account because the username is default app pool. So looks to me that this is a service account, but that's fine. Let's start our privilege escalation. So the first thing which I like to do is, again, who am I slash all, but before who am I slash all, I will see my operating system and other details. So system info, and in the system info we can see that my nmap scan gave me exact results, which were Microsoft Windows Server 2016 standard evaluation. Then I'm having my architecture here as well, it is x64. Then I am having some hotfixes as well, so this means that it is quite updated, so might not be possible that there might be some sort of kernel exploits. So that's fine, let's move on. And then I like to use C is open ports, so netstat dash ano, and it will show me all open ports. Now my nmap scan was able to detect some 49,000 ports, but there are some other 49,000 ports, and I'm also having 5985 port open, then 3389. So nothing strange port right here, which I can do port forwarding and look into the port. So now what I can do is I can also do whoami/all to see my privileges as well and some groups as well. So this is my SID, and right here I am having sc-impersonate privilege enabled again. So in my previous videos we exploited sc-impersonate privilege using Juicy Potato. Now this is quite updated system, which is Microsoft Windows Server 2016, or whether there is like Windows 10. Normally you cannot impersonate tokens for the administrator user and run commands as administrator or programs, but what we can do right here is there is an other exploit for sc impersonate privilege, which is called PrintSpoofer, and PrintSpoofer is much easier to use than Juicy Potato. So we will use PrintSpoofer right now and try to gain root access. So let's move on to GitHub again, and I will say PrintSpoofer GitHub, and I will download the first one, which is abusing impersonation privileges. And right here I am having some SLN files, which is Visual Studio files, but we can also download the releases here. And PrintSpoofer actually works for all service accounts. If you are not logged in as service account, PrintSpoofer will never work. So it can also see, we can see here that from local network service to system by abusing SC impersonate privilege. Now normally, because like service accounts are having some sort of permission, so it can try to execute something and we can get root access. So it says that on Windows 10 and server 2016 and 19 this works only. So it is also trying to execute this one, and let's see what he is doing. Who am I? Then he is local service, and then who am I priv, and sc impersonate privilege is enabled, so it will execute PrintSpoofer -i-c and then the PowerShell. So -i for interact, -c for command, and the command which he is using is PowerShell. So let's see the releases, and I am having some compiled binaries. Otherwise I need to compile that SLN files into Visual Studio and then make an executable. But right now I will download PrintSpoofer x64, which I know that my operating system is x64. So I will copy the link from here, come back to my own terminal, and I will do wget, paste the link, hit enter, and it will download into my current working directory. And let's do ls, and I am having PrintSpoofer x64. So now I need to transfer that PrintSpoofer to my target. So I will start my Python web server. So python -m simple http server on port 80, and I'll come back to my target, and I need to figure out which directory or which directory is writable by default. So I will come to my C drive, and then I will do dir here. Let's see what is there. But before doing everything, let's see whether I'm having access to the flag or not. So I will cd into users dir, and there is a Bob user. So I will do Bob dir desktop dir, and here is the user flag. So if I do icackles onto this one to see whether I am having read permissions or not, and everyone is having full access, so it means I can read this flag as well. So now let's see whether I can download this PrintSpoofer exploit into Bob user desktop directory or not. So I will do search util -url cache -f for file http and I will do my local IP, which is 10.17.41.9, and then I will specify PrintSpoofer. Let's copy PrintSpoofer from here. So PrintSpoofer, and we need to specify it one more time. So I will just make it short, and I will say that rename it to pf.exe so that I can execute it easily. So if I hit now enter right here, and let's see, I got a hit onto my web server. I do got a hit, and right here I can see search util url command completed successfully. So now if I do dir PrintSpoofer should be present here. So let's execute PrintSpoofer as the one on GitHub was doing. So PrintSpoofer.exe -i for interact and -c for command. And right now I am in command prompt session. So what I will do is let's do cmd.exe. Let's see whether this will work. Hit enter, and it looks like that it does work. And if I do who am I now, and I am anti-authority system. So right here you can use cmd.exe as well and PowerShell as well, so whatever you like to do. So let's see whether I'm having access to the root flag or not. So I will navigate into cd users, dir, cd into administrator, and cd into desktop, dir, and I am having root.txt. So this is how we gain root access using printspoofer.exe. And this was the box. It was containing some rabbit holes. It was very similar to OSCP, so always good enumeration. And let's come back to the answers of TryHackMe. So now this was a black box, so we can see the scope of the work. This is completely black box, and we need to specify user.txt. So there are no questions in this machine which we can answer. So I think so this was the box. If you like the video, please subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.